Post-game as NJIT defeats New Hampshire 64-48, and we're happy to be joined by Coach LT. And LT, what a performance by your squad here tonight. A 22-0 run to end the game. Talk about going hot to the final buzzer.
I know, right? Our team did an awesome job. I mean, they dug in. They fought. They really wanted this game, especially coming off of dropping those 3 games. Just playing a different kind of way than we did, at least 2 out of those 3 games. We felt like we had all of that in us all the time, but I mean, you can't hold back.
Right.
No matter who you're playing. So kudos to our players for listening, buying in, and making the changes that we needed made.
And there were some moments throughout this game, too, where, New Hampshire was playing you tough. There were moments, too, they take the lead, started to separate a little bit. And then, of course, as the second half goes on, your team buckles in, able to rely on their talents, their expertise, and finally get on that run to end the game. How proud were you to see that, despite falling a little bit behind, didn't let that get to you, but you were able to come back and, of course, pull away for a win? I
think they're seasoned. We've been there, done that, right? And so they know what that's like. They also know how to come back from that. We did that at UAlbany. So those things, having those things in the back of their mind, I think gives them confidence. And we talked about confidence here because we could have broke either way. And this team is, they have a resolve that is propelling our program in the right direction. And I would say, when UNH had that lead, and when you looked at the stat sheet and you realize, hey, we missed 5 free throws.
Exactly.
That's a different ball game. So it wasn't as if we were playing that poorly.
Right.
It's just that we had to capitalize on the things that we were getting. So, and I will tell you this: the unsung hero of the game is definitely Miti.
Oh, yeah.
She had 4 boards, I think, in the first half, second half. I can't remember when it happened. But the way she went after those rebounds, I have never seen her do that. So she dug, and I was just like, wow. And her box outs, it was phenomenal to watch.
It was one as far as David and I saying during the broadcast that this might have been her finest performance of her career as an NJIT Highlander because of the things you pointed out, not only with the 9 rebounds, 5 blocks. I said at one point the basketball was like a magnet to her. She was just not allowing anybody else to get her hands on the basketball. And you could tell, too, that, she was just feeling it tonight, and it seems like her teammates were responding off of that as well.
They were feeding her. They were feeding her all kinds of praise on the bench. I will tell you this: I'm going to throw back a name, MB.
Yeah.
Miti looked like MB when she was guarding down there. MB didn't have to jump up to block somebody's shot. She moved her feet, and she made sure that she got the correct hand up, and that's what Miti did, and that's why she got those block shots. KB came in, Kiana came in and did the same thing. So when we don't leave our feet and we play good positional defense and we move our feet, we can make plays like that without having to jump. And I think that type of discipline needs to get better in order for us to continue to rise.
For Kimmy, early on getting very effective within the offense, doing her part, but then she gets a little bit of foul trouble. You mentioned Kiana, though. She is really growing up this season. She's getting more minutes, and it just seems like her minutes are growing and growing. What is she? Is it just for her playing at an all-time confidence right now from what you guys are seeing and why she's able to have success on the floor?
Well, shout out to KB because KB was not even 100% and not really full go until probably mid to late November.
Yeah.
And so she missed a lot of conditioning and stuff like that. But for her length and her agility is really good, and so she's able to guard a lot of different types of players. And when KB puts her mind to it and she hunkers down, she's a pretty good player. And last year, when we were at UNH last year, KB played a whole lot of minutes. So I would say, their experience from last season as freshmen when they didn't know their head from their tails. You know, now I think they have a lot more confidence in what they're doing.
Ellen once again doing what Ellen does, hitting some three-pointers, some big shots.
Grandmama.
Grandmama doing her part, but also to Lyzi again, just continuing to have herself what's another really good year here, especially as year 2 as a player, and knowing that Lyzi is just now really started to fixate herself as one of these premier players in the conference. How neat is it to see from your vantage point on the sideline, and just watching her grow?
Her growth is definitely a joy for me, and by no means is she even probably half the player that I envision her to be able to become. She's working. She's got a hard job. I mean, I played the point, and I got yelled at all the time. And it's a hard job. It might be the hardest job on the floor for a basketball player. Because you have to do so many things, and she's learning how to, direct more. She's learning a little bit more of the nuances of the game, and those happen with experience. You can tell somebody something, you can even show them on film, but until they get out there and they really feel that and they see it for themselves, that's when she's gonna start becoming the player that she really could be, and that is a scary thing.
Oh, it certainly is.
For opponents.
Oh, absolutely. For opponents.
Yes,
Exactly,
yes,
for
yes.
opponents. But hopefully that momentum carries on the road. One final question. 2 games coming up on the road now before you come back home. Obviously never perfect, always looking to work on things. Is there anything specific you and the team are going to look to work on prior to the big road trip, or is it just continue to get better day in and day out?
Continue to get better day in and day out, because we have things to fix on the offense and things to fix on the defense. I guess believing in some of the things on the scout because they're like, no, it can't be, like, really, and it's like, yeah, it's that, and so, like, really honing in on some of the details on the scout is going to be important as well. But I mean, being who we are and being true to our identity is what we need to get really good at. And that's what we'll live with. We'll hang our hats on that, and we got to know that we're good enough, and we are enough for what we need to do.
All right, Coach. Well, you guys are good enough. Continue to grow and continue to get better. Looking forward to seeing you guys back here next week. And, hey, nice job on the win here tonight.
Thank you.
All righty. NJIT defeating UNH 64-48.